Welcome to a web series on education and the family, brought to you by Creo Early Learning Partners. If you can, please donate to our fundraising efforts by clicking the link on this post. Your contribution will aid teachers and school staff adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. In this episode entitled Special Needs in the New Normal, we are joined by behavior specialist and special education consultant, teacher Mayumi Gonzales.
Welcome, Teacher Yumi. You have worked with centers both here and in the US that support children with special needs. In the age of COVID-19, former routines are no longer possible and physical access to schools or therapists is difficult. What are some of the biggest challenges when it comes to online learning or homeschooling for families with children who need an individualized approach?
All right, thank you for that question, Miss Kat. So first is the curriculum. Because with children with special needs, their curriculum are specialized. So they do not come from a bunch of curriculum for grade 1, for example. Not all of the subjects there or subject matters there are applicable to this child. So it depends on the child's needs as well as their strengths. Another is that also they also, as a student, they also have motivation issues. So for them to be able to sit down in such online learning platform might be a challenge. So even if they are having this lecture or lessons online, the parents should be there or caregivers should be there to help them to sit still. Okay, and to be able to process some things that the teacher would be saying. No? And then another one is that there also might have difficulties in learning. So the strategy, the teaching strategy that the teacher will have in the synchronous type of learning might not be the best way to teach them. Most of these children, they are visual learners. They are also the best way to teach them also is through examples and to making it or doing it. So that would might be a challenge. Another is communication issues, because a lot of them might have issues in communication. And whatever language it is, teacher, whether it's Filipino, whether it's in Visayan, whether it is in English, the meaning of something or the instructions might also be a issue.
Thank you very much, Teacher Yumi. You have mentioned a lot of the challenges that our children with special needs would be experiencing with our new normal type of delivery in terms of our education. What advice would you give on how to overcome these challenges? And what are the best practices for supporting special needs in this extraordinary environment?
Every time I see one child, what I do is that I do not just give them lessons. I go and as I give them lessons, I also learn how they learn, so I can help them better. Because if I don't know how they learn, how can I give them a lesson that is more effective in their population? All right. Second is that it is also important to give them a lot of prompting and a lot of support. Okay, so when I say support or prompting, it does not mean that we are going to give them everything or do things for them. In fact, what is sad is that there are times, teachers, when I give homeworks to my students, they come back to me, it's so perfect. It is because the mommy or the daddy will do it for them. Okay, so what we want is just to give them the experience on how to give an output without doing it for them, but helping them to finish it. So what you can do is that the parents could go and do hand over hand on them, wherein they physically go and prompt them to do things. Okay, another could be verbal prompting. Okay, another is that give them gestures. Okay, to guide them. Okay, and some of them could be fading or starting a prompt and then fading it eventually. Okay, another is that we need to present the lesson in a very systematic way. Why? Because the step by step, the sequence is already your prompting the child to do what it's like a recipe, what to do next. Okay, so with that, the your your probability of success is higher than just giving them random, random stuff. So we have to have a very systematic approach to them. Next is that, okay, visuals will help a lot regardless of the disability. Okay, so because visuals will make the meaning more concrete, it's more exact. Okay, so why? Because when we say words, it could mean a lot of things. But if you put a picture into it, it gives them, oh, okay, this is what she means. So, for example, you wanted your child to go and you teach them, I want to eat. Probably most of them might not be able to say I want to eat. Okay, so they can also point to the picture of eat. Okay, so that it signals you that I am hungry, I want to eat. So those are some little things that you can do. So in this way, or in this path, reinforcement plays a crucial role.
How do we effectively deal with certain meltdowns or possible emotional outbursts from these kids?
Yes, thank you for that question, Sir Sam. Yes, a lot of parents do experience their children to have a meltdown or tantrums or a more difficult behavior as of now. That is because, just let me explain, that is because there is a change in their routine. Okay, it's not like before. Like, why am I not going to class? Why am I not going to OT or speech? Why can't I see my teacher? Why is my teacher on TV, or why is my teacher on my laptop, right? So those little changes may affect this, no. Now, first is that whenever they go into such episode, first is that let us put in mind that as a practice, it is also nice that we help our child to practice calmness. So make it an everyday thing. Breathing exercises is actually the easiest. So inhale, exhale. Why? Because it calms you. It gives you a moment of peace. Okay. So aside from that, sir, is that we also want to give. You can also allow them to make some yoga poses every now and then. Okay. Another is that you can you put them into exercises, different exercise activities. Why? Because remember, now they have nothing else to do. They're just stuck at home, probably playing some games in the laptop, watching YouTube forever. Okay, but then, okay, giving them some exercise. Different exercise activities will go and give them a sense of release of their excess energies, because there's a lot. Unlike when they're going to school, they need to walk to school, they need to ride a tricycle, they need to, they need to go some stretching exercises in school as well. Okay, so, but it is important to put that into their routine. Okay, now, another is that when it comes to a more extreme battles with such meltdowns, okay, now what you can do is, for parents, the thing is that the most important is that you go and reflect, why is my child getting into this kind of behavior? Because a behavior does not appear just because. There is a reason, or there is a function why these behaviors come out. So we want to know what those reasons are. Okay, so in my books, not my, I did not write it, but in my references, okay, there are 4 types of functions of behavior. First is that attention. They do it to get attention. Second is that they do it because they want to avoid something, or they want to escape a task. Okay. Another is communication. So failure to communicate will lead them to frustration. So that's why they go into a fit. Another is that for compulsion and self-stimulatory behaviors because it feels good. Okay, to get into that. The other references would say an additional causes of behavior would be medical. So it might be something is aching or it might be an effect of medication, etc. What I would do is that if the child goes into a tantrum, I will let the child calm down first, because if I go and tell the child my conditions at the moment that he's already into his behavior, there would be a misunderstanding. He will not understand me. However, if I let him calm down first, he's done with his episode, then we will talk, depending on the capacity of the child to understand spoken language. Okay, so sometimes I sit down with them. Okay, so what happened? I will ask them and they will explain to me, teacher, because such and such, or mommy, because, if that is my son. Okay, now after that, after the conversation, I will give an alternative behavior. I think that is one moment or one step that we often miss. We tell them, this is, you're not supposed to do this, da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da. However, the child will you will leave the child wondering, so if you don't want me to shout because I'm frustrated, what should I do? It does not come to them naturally as adults do. Okay, so so you have to supply an alternative behavior, the behavior that you would want them to perform instead of throwing a tantrum. You clarify, you process the behavior that happened, you give an alternative behavior to that. Now, you as a parent or you as a caregiver would also need to calm down, because they will not believe you that they should calm down if you yourself is also in a fit. Okay, so now so I think those are the things that could help now people to cope with the situation.